Welcome, everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo, and we cover the WNBA games, and we're covering Sunday. This was one of the 5 games that was played. We had the Phoenix Mercury visiting the Seattle Storm. And this one was a very close game and very fiercely fought. And another close game Seattle's involved in that they lose in the last minute of the game. Boy, it must be hard to be a Seattle Storm fan. I mean, I'm like lightly a Seattle Storm fan. I mean, I used to like them a little more when Sue Bird and Breanna Stewart were playing, and Jewel Lloyd. They had a pretty exciting team then, and but I still like them. It's not something that I mean, I don't even think there's a team that I don't like, but there's some teams you favor more than others based on the players. And, there's so many teams that have switched players that have switched teams this year that, I'm finding myself liking different teams that I didn't as much like before. So anyway, on to this game. Oh, and appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button for me. We had the Mercury eking out the win, 85-82, and they led the whole way. Other than about 30 seconds, they led the whole way. But they only led by like 3 to 5 points for most of the time. They built it up to 9. That was their biggest lead. But Seattle got that back down pretty quickly. And they finally got a lead. It was late in the third quarter, early in the fourth. And they got a 1-point lead, but then they couldn't hold it. Then the Mercury went up. And then it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 1-point lead, down 3, down. But then right late in the game, the Mercury had gotten a 3, I think, and put them up by 5. But then Seattle came back. And then it was, there were 2 sequences where Seattle had the chance to go ahead. And it was late in the game, and it was 2 different players. They drove to the hoop, and if they had just made their shots, this probably would have been a different outcome, but they both missed. And Phoenix made their shot. And then Seattle had to foul to try and win the game, and Phoenix made their foul shots. So they end up getting the victory, but boy, it was exciting. It was just crazy exciting. A typical Seattle game. Just not for the weak of heart. So Phoenix led 20-17 in the first. They led 23-20 in the second. Outscored them 24-23. So at the end of the third quarter, they were up by 7. And then Seattle finally outscored them 22-18 in the fourth. And that gives you your 85-82 final score. So Phoenix is now 20-13, and they are tied with New York with 13 losses. And they are third and fourth. And then Seattle has dropped to 17-18. So they're down below 500. But they're in the 8th spot as of right now, I believe. But, you look at some of these stats, and, Seattle had 56 points in the paint to Phoenix's 38. Fast break points are even. Rebounds, fairly even. Turnovers were also in Seattle's favor. They had 12. Phoenix had 19. Here's a big stat, which is surprising considering Phoenix won. Seattle had 22 points off those 19 turnovers. Phoenix got 0 off of the 12. That's very unusual for a team that wins, to have that big of a discrepancy in the points off turnovers. So Phoenix shot 48% as a team. Seattle right behind them with 47. But the 3-point shooting was the difference. The Mercury shot 30%, almost 31. They were 8 for 26. And Seattle was just 4 for 22. And you know what? I've noticed with Seattle, when they lose, they shoot. Their shooting percentages are bad. And they give up layups. Their team defense is definitely not up to par. And even though they have Nneka down there, they have Malanga, they have Ezi Maglagar, they have tall players that should, nullify people getting layups. And nope. When they lose, they give up layups. And they shoot bad. This time they shot bad from 3, but, overall they didn't shoot horribly. The shots that weren't threes. The foul line was pretty even. Seattle went 13 times and Phoenix went to the line 18 times. So that's not a big, huge difference. So looking at the players, we'll go. Phoenix had 5 players in double figures, and they were led by Alyssa Thomas. She had another triple-double in this game, and she had 19 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. She also had 4 turnovers, but she got 3 steals. She was 5 for 6 from the line and 7 for 12 overall from the floor, which is almost 60%. That's a really good shooting percentage. But most of her shots are within the key, or, like 10 feet and in, just because of those torn labrums that she has. And, she's a pretty unique player considered as MVP, because she plays point guard, but she's 6'2" and she's strong. And you'll see her on usually the opposite team's best player, no matter the size. She'll be in there, and that's how, a normal point guard isn't going to be in there getting rebounds. That's why they don't get triple-doubles most of the time. But Alyssa is so tall and strong that she goes down there and gets those rebounds. That's what makes her uniquely in a position to get those triple-doubles, and that's why you don't see other players doing that. Because players her size are usually forwards, and they're playing down on her. They're going to get the rebounds, but they also don't, and they'll get points, so you'll see double-doubles out of those types of players, but they don't get the assists. So, Alyssa is in this just a unique position to accomplish what she's accomplishing. And she had some great spin moves, like in the key, spinned up to the layup, up for a layup. Just terrific. It was beautiful. Just very nice. Very nice. So then you had Kahleah Copper. Kahleah Copper had a nice game. She had 17 points. She was 50% from the floor. She didn't shoot great from 3, but she also had 4 assists and 5 rebounds. She had 2 turnovers and a steal. So good game for Kahleah. And then you had Sammy Whitcomb, the 3-point marksman, for lack of a better word. She had 15 points. And she was 3 for 7 overall, which is 42%. She didn't take a shot that wasn't a 3. And she has such nice backspin on her shots. Very nice. And then she went to the foul line, and she was 6 for 6 from the foul line. And she had an assist and 2 rebounds. And then you had Satu Sabally and Duana Bonner. Sabally had 11 points. She had a double-double, so she had 10 rebounds also. And she didn't shoot well, though. She was 4 for 12 overall and 1 for 5 from 3. And then Bonner, she didn't hit a 3, but she was 5 for 10 overall. And she had 2 assists and a rebound. And then rounding out the scoring, you had Natasha Mack hit a hoop, and she had 3 rebounds. And then Catherine Westbold had 8. She hit the 2 threes that she took, and she was 3 for 4 overall. And then Lexi Held got in the game. I was happy to see her playing, and they played Loxa too. Held had 3 points, but Loxa didn't score. She didn't even take a shot. She just got a couple of rebounds. So looking at Seattle, they had 4 players in double figures. You had Nneka. Boy, Nneka's been playing well for them. and just not, she's not getting enough help from her team, which that's sad to see. Let's see. She had 24 points and 8 rebounds. She was 10 for 17. That's 60%. She didn't hit her threes, though. 1 for 6. But 24 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. She had 2 steals. Good game for her. But she's just, her teammates are not. I mean, you had Gabby Williams with 13 points. She shot okay from the field, but she's still missing her threes. I'm noticing in her shots, she's not giving enough legs because she's hitting the front of the rim a lot of times. It's like, boy, it's not getting there. Anyway, but Gabby had 7 assists and 3 rebounds. So, overall, not a bad game from her, but they just need more from her. And then Ezzy was missing some shots down low. She had 7 rebounds. She had a block and 2 assists, but she was 3 for 7. She missed 4 of those little chippy shots that they need from her. And then Brittany Sykes, she had 11 points. But I'm sure when they were trading for her, they were thinking more than 11 points for her. And, she's taken time away from Erica Wheeler, and Erica Wheeler was playing really well for them, and they were winning. I mean, I'm not saying that's the cause or anything like that, but Erica Wheeler was playing really well for them. And, she got 20 minutes in this game. She had 8 points. And then Skylar Diggins had 14 points. She was 5 for 10 overall and 4 for 6 from the line. But, when Seattle was winning earlier in the season, Skylar was scoring like 20 points and Erica Wheeler was scoring 15. So, and then I like what I'm seeing from Dominique Malonga, but she didn't shoot. She missed some too. She was 2 for 6. And, all of her shots are right down there in the key. But she had 7 rebounds, but only 6 points. They need more out of her. They need more out of Ezzy, Malonga, and Erica Wheeler. If they're going to start winning, those 3 players, and a little more out of Gabby Williams, points-wise. I mean, she's playing good defense. She gets steals, and she's doing assists and everything, but they need more points out of these players for Seattle to start winning. And they're just not getting them. So Phoenix is now 20-13, and they are tied with New York for 3rd and 4th place. And then Seattle is 17-18, and they have dropped to 8th place. They're holding on because the Sparks lost, and who else was? Another team lost. Can't think of it at the moment, but anyway, they're still holding on to the 8th spot. So that's it for this one, and we'll see you next time.